for the week May 20th to 23rd. This week reported on a major achievement of the Guyana Police Force. Ranks swooped down on 3 suspected bandits who were wreaking havoc in the Blackbush Polder quarantine area. A shootout between the suspected bandits and the police resulted in the death of the suspects. A mother is now relieved, claiming justice has been served. Her sons, the Samaru brothers, were brutally murdered on All Year's Night by bandits, one of whom was killed in the shootout with police in Blackbush Polder. President Granger reflects on the successes and challenges over the past 4 years in office, Philippines government eyeing investments in Guyana's sugar and energy sectors, and Chilean ambassador commits to providing training in several areas for Guyanese, and preparations in full swing for country's 53rd independence celebrations to be hosted at Durban Park on May 26. Stay with us as we take a look at these and other stories which made the headlines this week.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
On Monday, Paul McAdam traveled to the quarantine area and spoke with residents of Guyana and Mibikuri who are relieved that the cops put an end to the bandits' reign after a back dam shootout.
I'm on the bridge linking Mibikuri to Guyana. Behind me, along this dam, is the spot several miles in where the police brought to the bodies of the 3 suspected bandits they killed during a firefight on May 19th.
The 3 men were identified as Suchand Sulal, called One-Eye Papi, Kelvin Shivgobin, called Kelly, and Ramnarayan Jagmohan, all Berbice residents. According to a senior officer attached to the Wim police station, it took ranks more than 2 hours to access the hideout used by the suspected bandits. Investigators have so far linked the dead men to several of the robberies committed along the quarantine and in New Amsterdam, Berbice.
Several residents of Mibikuri North and Guyana gave their reaction to the latest police action.
I feel like the police do a very good job because all the robbery take place, so you're ramping in Blackbush right now. At this time, you're ramping in Blackbush. And we feel that they do a good job that you save a lot, especially in Berbice. So. So we got recommend the police them that they do a good job, and the residents feel more happy and could live a little more peaceful.
We feel happy so they kill them, and thank the police force very much for that, because nobody else is glad for them go in the house too.
We feel very proud for what the police has been done in Blackbush, because we can't sleep in the night when this was happening, you know. We was very scared. And when we see this, we feel very happy and we content with what happened. First time I ever, bandit ever come, and that's my wife, brother over there, and me opposite over here. And when I fired the load first time, I never expect that bandit could accompany, so I was very, very scared.
Central Quarantine Chamber of Commerce Executive and Public Relations Officer, Punai Bigrok, complimented the police for a job well done.
The criminals are getting too brazen, because if you look at some of the crime that happened recently in Berbice, that the police is just a stone throw away, and these criminals would go in the same vicinity and they would harass regular and ordinary people. So I mean, it's sad to say that young lives had to go down the drain so wastefully, but I must say the police have done well, and I think crime fighting should be an ongoing process. We shouldn't wait until it escalates to the state that it is.
The Business Chamber executive acknowledged the police's heightened presence, but noted the challenges.
The area is so vast that it's impossible for the police to be all over the same time. And then criminal is just like every like how I'm playing my business. I guess criminals, they're looking at how the police operate, and then they would try to beat the police or be a step ahead of the police when they did the crime occur. But from a business point of view, I think it was getting really, really hard on business people, because people start to close their shop early. Every person you talk to, there was fear in every person that who's going to be next, or we are all going to be next, but it's just a matter of time.
Ranks recovered one AR-15 assault rifle, along with a 9mm semi-automatic pistol and 2.38 revolvers. They also collected over 300 rounds of ammunition, in addition to bulletproof vests, face masks, several cellular phones, and jewelry confirmed as belonging to recent robbery victims, along with more than $600,000 in cash, a solar charger, and a small quantity of marijuana. The government will continue allocating more resources and build capacity in the Guyana Police Force as it continues the fight against crime.
As the police investigations continue, several questions must be answered. Chief among them is where or the source of the weapons used by the suspected bandits. From the WIM police station in Berbice, Paul McAdam for INFOHUB.
On January 1 this year, heart-wrenching reports hit the media about the Samaru brothers who were slain by bandits during a home invasion. The brothers had taken time to spend with their mother and other siblings at her home. Following the news that the police patrol at Blackbush Polder County eliminated 3 bandits in the area, one of whom was implicated in the incident, the mother of the Samaru brothers is of the belief that justice has been served. Here again is Paul.
67-year-old Irene Samaru prayed for justice after her son's deaths. Brutally shot dead by bandits on New Year's night of 2018, the mother of Prem Charan and Harry Charan Samaru is satisfied after a police operation resulted in the deaths of 3 suspected bandits terrorizing several Berbice communities. In January of 2019, the police issued a wanted bulletin for Kelvin Shivgobin for the murder of the 2 brothers following an alleged confession by an accomplice.
I always pray for Shiva and tell them, so they give me satisfaction, because my son them not trouble them, they not do them nothing. And they're strong, you're not sick, and people take their life like that. When they beat them and left them and they come rob before they can kill them. My big son and my 4th son, every day I think about them, every hour and every minute I think about them.
Kelvin Shivgobin, also known as Kelly, was with Suchand Sulal, called One-Eye Papi, and Ramnarain Jagmohan. They were killed on May 19th during a firefight with a police patrol.
How don't take people alive, but some people don't take back their life. Then they make life, when they take life, they back on rob too, and they take your life too. Sometimes if me had a son, me there is a shoot on too, or if me when there is that time, maybe on holiday, so one shoot me too. But God great. God really great. I pray from God and I say, God, me make them. And my mind is so big, man, and no people kill them.
On December 31, 2018, the Samaru brothers, who worked as laborers, had earlier left their families to spend the night along with 2 other siblings at their mom's home. They were brutally gunned down during the course of a robbery. Investigators have so far linked the dead men to several of the robberies committed in the Quarantine and New Amsterdam Berbice areas. Senior Superintendent and OIC in charge of Subdivision 2 and B Division, Wayne DeHart, headed the operation, which resulted in the deaths of the 3 suspected bandits. Paul McAdam for INFOHUB.
Weighing in on the matter on Friday, we reported that Minister of Public Security Kemraj Ramtatan said the recent successful interception and execution of the 3 Berbice bandits was only possible with the intelligence provided by residents.
It's the positive nature of community relationship and the police, and the intelligence gathered from members of the community, and then of course quick reaction by members of the police force in identifying and of course sending in the firepower that was required. And that combination of efforts saw the realization of what happened there.
Public Security Minister Kemraj Ramtatan. The community support in the crime fight is imperative, Minister Ramtatan added.
The police these days have the necessary assets and have the courage and the firepower to go and get them. But we sometimes have to, get that very important component, community relations, information. Information is vital.
3 men identified as Suchan Sulal, called One Eye Papi, Kelvin Shivgubin, called Kelly, and Ramnarain Jagmohan, all Berbice residents, were killed during a firefight with B Division ranks on Monday, May 19th. Investigators have so far linked the dead men to several of the robberies committed in Quarantine and New Amsterdam Berbice.
Guyana has been and will continue on an upward trajectory because of the coalition government's commitment to ensuring a good life for all Guyanese. This was among the sentiments echoed by President David Granger as he highlighted both successes and challenges faced in governance. Natisha Isaacs filed this report on Thursday.
The conversation comes on the heels of the 4-year anniversary of the APNU plus AFC coalition government's term in office. President Granger cited some of his administration's successes and reiterated his government's commitment to the furtherance of development in coastal and hinterland communities.
There are other areas in which there have been successes in terms of local government. We held local government elections twice in 3 years. We created 4 new towns. We are committed to democratic governance. We have tried to improve the infrastructure in many of the rural areas and also some riverine communities.
The head of state highlighted the massive success of the 5Bs initiative, geared at providing essential services for improved student attendance and performance.
We have improved school children's access to schools by providing what I call the public education transportation service.
He further cited the failure of the sugar industry, which has been a sore spot for years.
We have inherited some difficult situations, for example, in the sugar industry. The sugar industry was already in a state of decline. As you know, the previous administration shut down Diamond. They were amalgamating other estates. When they went into office, there were over 20,000 employees. And by the time they demitted office, they were down to about 15,000. So the previous administration knew that the industry was in decline, and that is one of the biggest challenges we faced.
The government is confident that there are good reasons for all Guyanese to celebrate their achievements over the past 4 years and remember May 11 as the day when the APNU plus AFC coalition administration started the journey to build a new Guyana. Natisha Isaacs for INFOHUB.
And on Friday, the head of state called on the residents of Mocha Arcadia on the 125th anniversary of the village to invest in their lands.
President Granger was addressing the large gathering of residents at the Mocha Arcadia Primary School. Describing the anniversary as a landmark, he implored residents to return to the farms like their ancestors did.
Vibrant economies are essential to eliminating inequality and poverty and to generating employment, particularly self-employment in this village. It is my belief that this economy, the country's economy, could be revitalized by village production.
It was highlighted that even though government is providing support, effort must be made by those in the village.
You have to be willing to get off of that white plastic chair and produce the guavas to make the guava jam and guava jelly. To produce the cassava to make cassava bread. To produce the plantain to make plantain chips. You are prepared to help yourselves and we will help you.
President Granger said his decision to appoint a senior official responsible for manufacturing and marketing and a Minister of Rural Affairs was strategic in developing villages like Mocha Arcadia.
I know what I'm doing, and I'm very confident that these initiatives will help to make these rural communities more prosperous.
Isaiah Braffett for INFOHUB.
The National Assembly also on Thursday approved the supplementary of $3.4 billion for the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM.
The supplementary provision was laid by Finance Minister Winston Jordan, who told the House that the provision of funding to GECOM was in keeping with a commitment made by President David Granger to the elections body.
This provision, I want to say today, is not in anticipation of anything that the CCJ may or may not say or decide on. It is one in keeping with the President's commitment, even before the matter went to the CCJ, that after the Guyana Elections Commission chairman wrote to him requesting funding for the actual holding of the election, he had committed to giving the Elections Commission the resources for the conduct of those elections.
Minister Jordan added that the CCJ ruling will not affect the availability of the funds.
Irrespective of the ruling of the CCJ, these monies will be made available to the Elections Commission for them to start the process of the elections proper.
The House then voted for $3.4 billion for GECOM's current expenditure and $182.3 million for capital expenditure. The Office of the Chief Elections Officer initially requested $3.31 billion, but the amount was rounded up to $3.4 billion by the Finance Ministry. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
We now tell you that the Philippines government is eyeing investments in Guyana's sugar and energy sectors. On Wednesday, the new ambassador of the Republic of the Philippines to Guyana, Marichu Moro, presented her letter of credence to President David Granger.
The newly appointed Filipino ambassador to Guyana said that her government will be looking at possible investments in the sugar industry. The two countries will also be collaborating to explore hydropower technology in Guyana.
My government admires Guyana's expertise in hydroelectrical technology and its ability to include local communities and other stakeholders in its development. So we are very interested in pursuing a cooperation project in hydroelectric and hydropower technology with Guyana.
President David Granger said that the government is grateful for the expertise of the more than 100 Filipinos working in various fields in Guyana and looks forward to continue cooperation with the country.
Guyana has benefited from the services of professionals from the Philippines who have come here to work in a wide range of fields, including education, forestry, and health. We are grateful for the expertise and the service of these professionals. Guyana looks forward to improving cooperation with the Philippines, particularly in the fields of agriculture, commerce, the environment, fisheries, and marine development.
Guyana and the Philippines have enjoyed diplomatic relations since September 2008. Seneca Thorne, InfoHub.
Also on Wednesday, we reported that Guyanese will benefit from training in several areas, compliments of Chile. This commitment was made by Chilean Ambassador Patricio Marshall, following courtesy calls on Minister of State Dawn Hastings-Williams and Minister of Public Service Tabitha Sarabu-Hali.
Emphasis will be placed on safe mining practices relating to the extraction of gold without the use of mercury. Those discussions were held with State Minister Dawn Hastings-Williams and Chilean Ambassador Patricio Marshall. The minister said while the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission and the Environmental Protection Agency have been playing their roles in trying to find alternatives to mercury, there is still need for assistance.
When we're asking him to stop using mercury to extract gold, we have to find alternative ways that we can, let them know. So, and that is where we look for countries like Chile who are more advanced in their mining areas to assist us.
The offer for more scholarships in the area of agriculture to help Guyana make more use of its produce was also made. Currently, there is one person pursuing a degree in fisheries and two persons who will soon depart to pursue degrees in food science in September. Minister of Public Service Tabitha Sarabu-Hali underscored the importance of having more scholarships in those areas.
In fisheries and food sciences with these degrees, it is going to the next level in terms of food and agriculture. We're not just producing the crops to export, but how do we use the crops that we are growing to now diversify it and use it in a different way, and food sciences allows us to do that.
The degree programs are the first of this magnitude to be offered by Chile, and it is a hope of the minister that it is expanded over time. This year will make it 48 years of formal diplomatic relations between Guyana and Chile. Isaiah Braffett for InfoHub.
More good news as hydrographic equipment totaling $68 million was handed over to the Guyana Maritime Administration Department under the Commonwealth Marine Economies Program.
We hope that future CME programs will enable capacity building within the maritime sector to enable Guyana to better understand and manage our marine estate.
Director General of the Maritime Administration, MARAD, Claudette Rogers. The donation of the hydrographic equipment will help Guyana to meet its obligation under the Safety of Life at Sea, SOLAS, Chapter 5, Regulation 9, to provide surveying services. Under the CME program, personnel from both the Guyana Lands and Survey Commission and MARAD will benefit from training opportunities.
This final phase would see staff from the Hydrographic Office being trained in both theoretical and practical hydrographic surveying, which would facilitate the compilation of modern navigational charts of the priority areas and will improve access for commercial shipping, ultimately reducing the costs of both imports and exports by sea.
British High Commissioner Greg Quinn praised Guyana's admission as the 90th member of the International Hydrographic Organization, noting that the surveying equipment will help to retain that membership. The High Commissioner also announced plans for Guyana under the CME program.
The CME, the Commonwealth Marine Economies Programme, is working in partnership with the government to produce a maritime economy plan. That will help ensure Guyana is able to sustainably develop and manage its maritime economy and increase economic growth.
Hydrographic Program Manager within the United Kingdom Hydrographic Office, UKHO, Ian Davies, during a demonstration of the use of the equipment, reiterated the UKHO's commitment towards building capacity in Guyana's maritime sector. The donation of the equipment will help Guyana to uphold its commitment towards the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 14, which aims to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. For INFOHUB, Shaquille Bourne.
Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu has stressed the need for the children of Guyana to know their history, particularly the nation's journey to independence. He recently addressed the Child Rights and Independence workshop held at the Pegasus Hotel.
Prime Minister Nagamutu said Guyana's rich cultural and ethnic diversity must inspire and not divide the nation. Independence, he noted, is a symbolic time where every Guyanese has a voice, particularly the children.
This workshop is all about is to go back in time so that you could learn about our country's political evolution. Guyana is really a transformed society, and that it is ready and able to take the big leap forward into the new league of developed, rich, prosperous, free society where there is the good life for all. You are the people who deserve the good life, and you have to take that good life generationally into the future so that our country don't develop from year to year, but exponentially.
This is the 4th workshop commemorating our independence. Alima Nazir, chairperson of Rights of the Child Commission, explained that there are 3 core areas that the Commission focuses on: protection, education, and empowerment.
This workshop will seek to stimulate a discussion on the history and significance of our independence. It will seek to demonstrate that independence must mean and translate to the development and advancement of our nation.
Minister within the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Valerie Garrido-Lowe, expressed her sincere appreciation for the work the RCC is doing across Guyana, especially within the hinterland region. Students and teachers from schools across Georgetown and RCC's youth ambassadors attended the workshop. Reporting from the Pegasus Hotel Guyana with videographer Kareem Peters, Rebecca Ganesh, INFOHUB.
In the mining sector, government is taking stringent steps to ensure the reduction of mercury use in mining. As such, new criteria will be implemented by August 1 for the importation of the chemical. Felicia Valenzuela filed this report on Tuesday.
There is a MOU currently in draft stage between the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, Environmental Protection Agency, Pesticide Toxic Chemical Control Board, and the Ministry of Natural Resources. What this MOU seeks to do is to build and our partnership and help us to work closer in our efforts, more specifically as it deals with the importation of mercury.
Technical Officer at the Ministry of Natural Resources, Marissa Charles. She spoke with INFOHUB during a National Working Group stakeholder meeting on the Minamata Convention. The Minamata Convention on Mercury is an international treaty designed to protect human health and the environment from releases of mercury, mercury compounds, and other pollutants. Charles says the MOU builds on an already existing partnership.
Before this MOU, the importation of mercury engaged a few stakeholders, namely GGMC, Pesticide Toxic Chemical Control Board, and GRE at the end of the process. So now what we intend to do is include that environmental aspect. So now, beginning August the 1st, once the MOU is finalized and approved and signed, what we aim to do is that when importers go to GGMC for importing mercury, they will now need a no objection letter from GGMC with minister's approval. Then they will need an environmental authorization from the EPA before they can go to Pesticide Toxic Chemical Control Board to get the approval to import the mercury, then of course go to GRE for their licensing.
The World Health Organization says mercury, also known as quicksilver, and most of its compounds are extremely toxic. Inhalation of its vapor will result in the harmful effects on the nervous, digestive, and immune systems, lungs, and kidneys, and may be fatal. Felicia Valenzuela, INFOHUB.
On your next trip to Lethem Region 9, the township will certainly look different with the main road in central Lethem on its way to being fully paved. Here again is Felicia.
Social media went abuzz when pictures of a paved main road in Lethem Region 9 were circulated on Monday, with many welcoming the long-awaited change from the usual red loom, dry and dusty atmosphere in Lethem. However, while the pictures told no lies, the exercise was in fact the testing of 100 meters of road selected as a sample for application of asphalt, and based on the result, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure will refine the asphalt and officially begin paving very soon. The date given for commencement of paving is Monday, May 27, 2019. This is being done through contractor JR Ranch Incorporated. INFOHUB spoke with two bus drivers who frequent the Lethem-Georgetown route about the already paved 100 meters of road. Both were happy with the work done thus far and was looking forward to its completion.
Yes, it's very dusty during the dry season.
But what are your thoughts now that it's fully paved?
That's great. I've been waiting for that a long time. The dust went killing you right now. It's much better right now than how it went before.
The Ministry of Public Infrastructure, in a media release, said it is pleased to continuously construct and rehabilitate the road networks within the hinterland to provide faster and smoother linkages to the coastal regions. In the meantime, residents of Lethem also expressed their satisfaction with progress done on the road thus far. Via Facebook, one person commented, "Way to go," thanking everyone, including past and previous mayors of Region 9 and the key players from the Ministry of Public Infrastructure who made it all possible. Another person said, "Great progress," while another said she was happy to see history made in Lethem. Felicia Valenzuela, INFOHUB.
Preparations are in full swing for Guyana's 53rd Independence Anniversary celebrations. Natasha Smith visited Durban Park on Tuesday to get a glimpse.
5,000 youths from across Guyana will be participating in the Independence Flag Raising and Youth Rally on Independence Day Sunday, May 26, beginning at 10 hours at Durban Park. DPI visited Durban Park, where we met Director of Culture Tamika Botswain. Speaking with INFOHUB, Botswain gives some insight into the day's activities.
There is the cultural program as well as the parade, and within the cultural program we also have a kata, which is a kind of athletic karate type performance. This performance will also see youths raising the flag for the first time.
Despite being busy with their rehearsals, I still managed to grab a few students who share their excitement with us.
My name is Leandro Hola and I shall be marching for the independence. It's my second time and it's very nice. I lots love it. My school is Tutorial High School.
I really like to watch our independence every year. I really enjoy it a lot, and this is my first time.
I love the independence. It's very nice.
I will be marching inside of independence, so representing my school along with others to dedicate Guyana flag raising.
Apart from the activities on May 26, Guyanese can also be part of several other activities planned, such as the National Songs, Poetry and Storytelling at the Umaniana on Tuesday, May 21, starting at 19 hours. The Art and Craft Market on May 22 and 23 at Main Street is also highly anticipated. The event is open to all Guyanese who are willing to participate. However, Botswana is urging persons to showcase more handmade products and unique items that may represent Guyana. This activity, she says, has been a great success.
That's why we keep doing it. We have even increased the days from one. Originally, it used to be in February. Now we've duplicated it at Independence, and we increased the days from 1 day to 2 days. And the persons keep asking us to add more days, but we have to continue reviewing it.
Of course, all of this culminates on Sunday, May 26, right here at Durban Park, beginning at 10 hours in what is expected to be a spectacular display. Reporting for InfoHub, Natasha Smith.
This has been InfoHub Recap. Remember to subscribe to our website for more stories and follow us on our social media platforms. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Happy Independence to all Guyanese. Goodbye.